Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe or follow wherever you're listening. Not only does it help us out, but you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. Gentlemen, we're going to do a Star War. What did you guys think of The Phantom Dentist?
Bruh, fucking Star Boars is more like it. I was hoping the whole time this was going to turn into Dale Sr., a space tale about a special country boy who likes to go fast.
Well, like, I'm totally down with, like, the title crawl just saying, praise hail, praise Dale.
So I've already mentioned it to you guys, just so the audience knows. Okay, so I was 14 when this came out, 1999. This was the first time I've ever seen this film.
Oh, man. I remember seeing this as a kid, and I didn't really think anything of it, other than, wow, lightsabers are fucking awesome. But, like, watching this again, I don't know, 30 years later almost? Who let this happen?
This was way worse than I expected it to be.
100%. I feel fucking bamboozled. Like, everybody over the past 3 decades, like, Star Wars is this seminal project, and it's a thing of a generation. And you know what I got? Pooped on. Like that stupid cow thing that farted during the stupid fucking stupidness. I'm frustrated. This is dumb.
Stop it! You're making me fucking see it.
Yeah, because, we have to talk about it too, because, like, in my opinion, this movie was abusive to me.
Abusive particularly to you.
I mean, it felt pretty personal, and I took it personally.
There we go. I put on Star Wars and it took a shit on my eyes, and I took it personal. Oh, this movie was about quote-unquote aliens, which look like the Gluckins from fucking Abe's Odyssey, and some old white politicians scheming up bullshit. Fuck this movie.
Yeah. Chandler.
This movie, to me, is just about trade negotiations.
Who is this for?
There were a couple times where I had to turn to the missus and be like, yeah, this is a political thriller, honey.
Starring Sand.
Oh, and just Sam Jackson in the most docile role I've ever seen him in.
I got a lightsaber, motherfucker.
I wish. I was just waiting for it. Like, pull out the stupid bad motherfucker wallet. Anything.
Yeah, like, I hope he's in some of the later ones, because he didn't do a thing in this.
No one did anything in this.
At all.
Fucking nothing happened. And, okay, I remember the Qui-Gon Jinn and the Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul fight being a big deal. And I remember thinking that Darth Maul was so fucking cool. And rewatching this, Darth Maul still looks cool, you know, Ray Parker, high five, dude, you look awesome. But the whole scene just sucked. I mean, he looked awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want to shit on Ewan McGregor or anything, or Liam Neeson's, because he still had knees back then. But like, fuck, it was boring. Like, nothing happened. This big Jedi fight scene boils down to like 3 seconds of back and forth between Ewan McGregor and Ray Parker, and you go, that's neat, and it's over. I've waited 2 hours for this, and it's over.
I want to emphasize that you said you waited 2 hours, because we were not entertained up until then. Because realistically, the only pure bit of entertainment I found was the pod racing scene.
Yeah, I'm with Chandler.
Yeah, I got no real enjoyment from the pod racing scene. It was fine. It's just, you know, the kid's gonna win. This story has to story somehow.
Okay. Yeah, I don't give 4 shits about the story. I'll tell you that much. What I will tell you is that the sound design is what fucking got me. I don't care about the outcome. I don't care if Giblet won the race or whatever the fuck that dude's name was. The sound design was great. It was like how they did the Batmobile in the Nolan movies. It was wonderful.
Oh, with the
Yeah, you can hear like the F1 cars in there. You can hear all those other jet engines. It's just good sound design. If I saw this in theater, I would probably be paralyzed from it and not even have the opportunity to enjoy the rest of the movie because I was still rocked by that scene. That's probably what happened. People were just mesmerized.
The bit right in the opening, whenever they're all getting their cars together, and little Anakin crawls into his little speeder and he's putting his goggles on, and Qui-Gon Jinn comes over and he goes, Anakin, use the Force. Anakin turns and looks at him and goes, who needs the Force when you got family?
Okay, so I'm going to counter your point about sound design with, okay, during this pod racing scene, you know, it's a racing scene in space, you know, somebody gets spun out or whatever, and one of the pods explodes. It looks like an explosion straight out of Action League Now.
No,
The
like, dude,
flesh.
no, totally. Like the effects in this movie have aged. I mean, some worse than others. Like, there's some shots of fucking Jar Jar Binks that look like straight up clay. Like, I don't know what the hell happened there.
And then when it gets to the battlefield scene later on, when they're actually at war, that's just a cartoon. That is
Yeah,
Bugs
dude.
Bunny.
It's so out of place. Like, I don't understand. I feel like, once more, I feel fucking bamboozled. Has George Lucas pulled a fucking huge one over everybody for like the last 50 years?
No,
I
I think
mean-
that these were critically panned. I think even Star Wars fans hate these movies, and rightfully so, because by God, Misa's fucking annoyed.
Yeah. Okay, so I knew going
Oh.
in that this character, Jar Jar Binks, was, generally unfavorable. People
Yeah.
just generally didn't really like him. I didn't realize he was a fucking war crime as a character. Like, this is the worst character in anything that I've ever seen.
I have never agreed with you more, Chandler. I swear to fuck. Because, like, watching this movie, I am wholeheartedly convinced that he could be removed entirely from this movie and it would still make
Yes.
sense. And we would have saved at least 2 hours.
Jar Jar
Oh.
Binks brings nothing to this movie, and the few times I found myself trying to become invested when they're, giving you this
Yes.
exposition in the best ways. Jar Jar Binks is there to make sure that you can't get attached. Case in point, the scene where Qui-Gon Jinn is sitting down to dinner with the princess and Anakin and his mother,
Yeah.
and they're discussing, Anakin joining him and being like, Anakin, these are the Jedi, these are this, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting some info that I'm genuinely curious about. And what happens fucking 10 seconds into this honestly interesting moment, Misa fucking sitting here being stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just at the end of the dumb table going, please! And I'm like, enough.
He's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, except like with a really sort of vaguely racist skin on him.
Oh man, that weird Jamaican DJ voice from Street Fighter.
That's why earlier I said, like, this movie seemed abusive, because, like, the very moment, like you said, where I'm interested, where I'm kind of like getting carried away by this space fantasy, for lack of a better term, he just goes nuts. He just has to open his fucking mouth. It doesn't bring joy.
No. And then we got to meet his entire fucking tribe of people, and they are all one and the same awful. Fucking awful. What's the king? He's a big bloated version of Jar Jar with frog noises going blah, 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 blah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he just doesn't belong. It's like he's such a last minute addition, seemingly. Like, this all feels like a weird rough draft anyway. But he can exist in this movie where he's kind of necessary, but otherwise he doesn't need to be there. Like, he's legitimately the fifth wheel in nearly every scene in the middle part.
Now, say what you will about Jar Jar Binks, he is insufferable, but Jim Justice deserves better.
Oh.
What?
I see it. I see it. Oh, it's Baby Jar.
Oh, yeah. But no, yeah, he's like Jim Justice, like wrapped in a skin of one of the big heads, the next door neighbors of Rocco from
Ooh,
Rocco's
yeah.
Modern Life.
Oh, Boss Nest. Yeah, he's a fat.
He's the fat.
Yeah.
I guess we got to like ping off a little bit of plot. So
All right.
yeah, weird
plot?
trade negotiation. Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. There's a whole political espionage thing going on in the background. There's some zoomy zooms with some laser swords. They got all kinds of shit. They try to check as many boxes off as possible, but instead of neatly checking the boxes, they actually tripped, fell, and died.
So yeah, it does kind of start as like this political kind of thing, like, oh, there's a kingdom that's technically in control by the Federation, but it's like it's not, and it's getting bombed or something. I don't know.
We got the most useless fucking droids coming in to Limp Biscuits rolling, attacking Queen Armadillo like we give a shit.
Yeah, that was a rough one, right? Because like, I understand, like, okay, as a society at this point, we understand that the Jedi are the good guys. They're strong. They can do good things. But like, they're rolling in these like cannon fodder, dumbass robots that put up no fight whatsoever. I don't understand the decision making because there's no tension in them slicing through Dynasty Warrior levels of enemies with no difficulty
Wow.
whatsoever.
100% on the Dynasty Warriors. They are there to just rack up. You can't get in trouble for killing these things. Kill count.
Yeah, it's all about the combo, man.
You know, you want to go Dynasty Warriors? I was going to go like Gauntlet Legends, but Dynasty Warriors works.
Man. That was one of my favorite PlayStation games. Hell yeah, Chin, man.
Here's a question for y'all. How in the hell did Fifth Element make space so much fucking cooler than Star Wars?
It's just odd, right? Because, like, this is such a cultural juggernaut, and forever there's just like, this is like some kind of pinnacle of entertainment as a whole, maybe. Like, this franchise, rather.
Correct.
And Chandler and I discussed it just briefly before we started, that it's so weird deep down inside to see so much money, so much effort and care and artistry on the screen, and still feel like it's a bag of dog shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got like Avatar, but Avatar at least has like, it looks really freaking cool, you know? The story might not be there, might be a story we've heard a million times, but at least it looks really cool. They threw a whole lot of money into CGI with this film, a whole lot, and it still looks really bad.
You can go back and watch the 70s Star Wars, and it looks better than this by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, we always love practical effects. Everybody does. When you see, okay, like in this one, Yoda is a puppet, and it's like, all right, cool. But then, like, 5 inches to his right is, like, the most densely packed background you'll ever fucking find, and it's so fucking distracting that there's, like, 90 Hot Wheels zooming by at light speed.
Yeah, I've got it written down on my notes when I think Darth Maul looks really cool, by the way. We've mentioned it. He looks really cool. He's dressed in this like dark black robe. The two people that he is with are having a conversation together, and it's obvious that they are just on a green screen. And he is walking by himself while they have a conversation.
Yeah.
It looks weird.
The movie dips in and out of that a lot. I think the most egregious one was when everybody's on Coruscant and they're like having this like sunset moment with Liam Neeson with his leg sexily propped up on the balcony or whatever. And it was just orange.
For me, it was the fucking elephant bee guy. He looked like someone took a sticker out of a fucking sticker book and stuck him on the screen, and Liam Neeson was talking to him. And I appreciate Liam Neeson's no nonsense when they had him talking to nothing. Whenever he would be talking to Jar Jar Binks or the flying bee person or anything like that, he didn't give a fuck about his line delivery.
Oh no,
about anything. And I love this. This was my favorite part, and it for me set the tone from Liam Neeson's. He knew in my heart of hearts that as soon as they introduced this Jar Jar Binks character, the movie was going to take a dive. It can no longer be serious. It can no longer be worthwhile. Because as soon as he sees Jar Jar, he's like, Jar Jar Binks, blah, blah, blah. Are you a fucking idiot? And he's like, no, Misa can talk. And he's like, just because you can talk doesn't make you intelligent. Get the fuck out of here. And I went, yes.
And that's when he jettisoned him out of that little water ship, and we never saw him again.
Would have been
what
great.
A movie that would be. We do have to talk about Anakin, right? He's a little boy. Greg Lloyd? What's his name? Jeff Lloyd?
Christopher Lloyd.
Bridges?
Oh, the Libyans.
What's this kid's name? Jake
Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
Jake Lloyd. Man, he puts on a performance here, doesn't he?
Man, I like how at the end of that sentence you used both the regular question mark and the upside down one.
Okay. if we're going to discuss this child's performance, I'm not going to shit on him in the fact that he can't act. I'm going to shit on him in the fact that it didn't work, because this child is so excited. He's literally spouting out the shit that you would say if you were a fucking 5-year-old. This kid's not an actor. He's an excited child, and that's fine. Because he goes, I'm a Jedi. I can do this. I'm going to be a pod racer because pod racers goes fast. And the director said that I'm the only human that can do it.
Because I'm a Jedi. I have midi-chlorians.
Oh man, no wonder Liam Neeson had enough. He's like, "Are you little shit? I got a certain set of skills."
Yes.
No, but no, you're right. He acts as if he is an actual child, going to see the Star Wars experience at Disney World.
But Okay, like I mentioned it briefly before we started as well. I don't blame the kid for anything. I blame George Lucas. And this poor kid had zero direction, and you could just hear it in every single line that he had, especially when he is elated and he lets us know by exclaiming "Yippee!"
Yippee!
Oh my god.
What's the big phrase? It's working.
Oh man, it's
Something
just
like that.
oh, he's supposed to be this mechanical genius, the future savior or whatever of the universe, and he just haphazardly bumbles around until he saves the fucking day.
I got inside of a starship and blew it up with my fucking space guns. I killed 1,000 people. Woo! Ain't that right, blue trash can?
Blue trash can. It's just you and me, blue trash cans. There's like a peanut on top or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he keeps the blue trash can, by the way. And I didn't realize this. I didn't realize that he had actually built who would become C-3PO.
That's the most contrived thing I've seen in the longest time. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't fucking matter.
This is an actual child who has built a sentient robot.
Yes.
Actual artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Built him in his bedroom.
Yeah,
And
then
he's like, all right, I'm going to space. I'll try and make sure mom doesn't throw you out.
Dude, this, for me, was the highest and lowest point in this film for me. I went, oh shit, he's making C-3PO. That's fucking cool. And then he gets up, he's like, oh, hello, I'm C-3PO. And you go, yeah, you are. That's neat. And then he goes, hey, C-3PO, fuck you. It was just like whenever you finish The Force Awakens and the second one came out and Luke throws his lightsaber off the cliff and you go, what?
like, once more, it's so odd to see incompetence at such a high running level. All these great actors and actresses, and they're just showing up and just one taking it left and right.
Dude, that's the best way to put it. Fucking Star Wars in one.
It's almost like everybody was in a hurry to make this.
Well, they were busy with the Jedi training.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So are the Jedi supposed to be like a parallel to? I don't know.
Well, I mean, he bought Anakin. He was like, hippity hoppity, Anakin's property. He belongs to me now.
We could just literally fly away, and we could take you. But like,
just peace out.
It pans over and Ewan McGregor standing there is like, we could just fly off with her too, master. And he turns around and he's going like, and he's like got the neck cut thing like Jonah Hill.
Yeah, why not? And just like quick cut to that totally not racist shopkeep. He's like, my fucking spaghetti or whatever.
You want to buy some jewelry?
George Lucas had every yes man possible making this fucking thing. Nobody questioned him.
Why would you? It's George Lucas. He made, that movie in space with the teddy bears. He made that one.
Oh my god. Okay, you're bringing up the Ewoks?
Oh.
Time Bandits. You bringing up them Ewoks. I shit my pants whenever they took the goddamn Jar Jar Binks people out of Christmas Bulb City and put them out in the fucking woods like they're the Ewoks. I went, what are we doing?
To those who are listening, fuck the plot. These are just grievances. Anyways. Yeah, that was super awkward, because, like, all these people have been stripped of their home, they're just refugees on their own planet, and they're just all standing around, just in the forest, just hanging. We're just here.
It's Fern Gully.
Oh, I'm gonna eat somebody.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least Fern Gully has, like, some rapping mud, or muck.
Oh, Fern Gully's alright.
I would watch Fern Gully over this. In fact, if Tim Curry were in this movie, I'd probably like it a little bit more, just for the hell of it. Because at least he would have fun with it. He's not going to be like Liam Neeson, who just gave up after 15 minutes. He's going to go right into his like evil mode or something.
Qui-Gon Jinn asked to be killed out of the film.
But now that you mention it, can you imagine Tim Curry as Jar Jar Binks?
Oh,
come on!
Don't put that evil in him.
I mean,
Misha gonna tuck my dick and fuck you.
Oh no,
Fuck, dude.
no! Like, because the plot, we've talked about the plot a little bit. There's some space war kind of stuff going,
Not a Star War.
It starts out small, This is like the Star Skirmish so far. This is, I think by the end of it, we get to a Star War, just a little one, but we get to one.
The movie really tries to subvert the whole Star Wars thing. Like,
does it?
The movie, it kind of feels that way. Like, we know where it has to go, But like by the end of it, somebody grabbed the fucking wheel and just like, nope, happy ending. And we're just like, hey, they're giving out awards? What the fuck?
Oh, they did this in the one movie. Somebody give that man a glowing ball.
Yeah, what the fuck is that, by the way? I've never seen that in my life.
Like, you said that it was like subverting our expectations or something, and I'm like, no, this is exactly how the first one ended. You know, you got everybody, they're giving out awards. You got the big fat man screaming something, peas, or something stupid. Like, it's supposed to be like Chewbacca's growl, and then you got Padme over there chuckling. Like, we did this before. It was better before.
It sucks here because I feel like it's just laziness on the actual creator's part. Like, we're so used to like remakes and junk, and it just, they don't measure up most times. But like, this is like by the original creator, like written and directed by George Lucas. It just feels fucking lazy. I just feel like he's just sitting there in his stupid director chair, like, yeah, it's just like that first one I made. Have you heard of it? Star Wars. It's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, we know you made it, buddy, and now you're ruining everything by making this. Stop it.
Spielberg's back there just like, nah, man, just okay.
No, Spielberg is the cool friend. He's like, yeah, man, you're doing good. Pats him on the shoulder, keep it up.
Goes home, tells his wife, yo, you have no idea what happened at work today.
Oh, you mean Willie? He's married to Willie from
Oh, is he really? I think I knew that.
Like the whale?
I just gotta free that bitch.
Of all the Indiana Jones women, he goes for Willie. Couldn't even have gone for Marion.
Marion's mine.
Yeah.
Something about mileage, yada yada.
All right, so back to this movie. They take the boy, and they're all like, oh, so he's got a ton of midichlorians, like way more midichlorians than anyone ever has. So we know he's probably going to have a whole lot of the Force. What are we going to do with him? Well, don't fucking train him, right?
All right, so another thing. This franchise is toted, like, everybody knows what the Force is.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie's like, yeah, it's fucking ghosts in your blood. Do some coke about it or something, kid.
No, see, I think of the Force as being like thoughts and prayers that work. But midichlorians are like little Power Rangers that like go up in your body and work like you're the Megazord.
Oh,
Is that not right?
So it's just like space John Malkovich.
Ooh,
damn.
I need to rewatch that movie.
Okay, you're talking about them not wanting to train him. But I don't think you can train him after he describes his dreams. They were like, young Master Skywalker, it's me, the sometimes CGI, sometimes not CGI puppet Yoda.
The honesty.
Please, tell me about your goals. Your future seems clouded, little one. Well, Master Yoda, I had a dream I was a Jedi. And I was killing children. And he's like, fucked up that is.
It really is.
But yeah, Yoda straight up says, like, hey, you're going to be super powerful. And, like, I can sense that there's some weird shit in your brain. We should stay away from you. Maybe take him home. Maybe get him enslaved again somehow.
Maybe get him enslaved again.
I mean, yeah, at that point, the Jedi Council does feel like, someone rolled into a pawn shop with a hot watch. They're just like,
yes.
Yeah, it's real nice and all, but like, no thanks.
Bro, where'd you get that fucking kid? He's got blood on him, man. Get him out of here.
Yeah, he's covered in goop and he smells like poop. Get that shit out of here.
But I can do a barrel roll.
I guess. He's like, oh, the spinny thing, that'll fucking work or something. Yippee.
Lifting up rocks and crates. Good training it is.
Oh, man. I guess you could say this whole movie is just a big old thorn in my side.
It's about goddamn time. What I've got today is from San Diego, California. It's from Thorn Brewing. This is their pineapple sour, 6.0% alcohol by volume. And boy, does it smell sour. Very little actual, what you would call beer flavor. There's a lot of that citrus pineapple. It's not super sweet at all. It's tart, a little salty, but it's not, I don't think they're calling it a goza. It's fine, I guess. Just like this movie. I don't know. No, you can cut that because the movie's not fine, I guess.
No, it's staying in, I agree. Moving on. Anyways, back to the shitfest.
Yeah, all right. I'm done with this beer much like I'm done with this movie.
I don't know, family.
Mhm.
I'll take it. Whatever. We're in space now. Ben Diesel's over there tooting his horn.
So one little thing we haven't talked about yet is this Queen Amidala, who I think early in my notes I just have her down as Bjork.
Fair.
And it turns out that who we think is the queen through the whole thing is actually a stand-in, to keep the real queen safe. And Padme is the real queen. Dun, dun, dun.
Except for anyone who saw any of the trailers and the casting list.
Yeah, the movie does actually try to be like, hey, that's the real queen now. Bump the elbow move, huh? And then like the lady next to her is literally Natalie Portman. You're like, nah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You're like, I saw you on the cover.
Yeah, why are they putting a handmaiden on there and not like the real something ain't right. This bitch is a phony.
Man, I wish I was there in the theater and there's that one really confused guy in the back. Hey, trying to pull the wool over my eyes, movie.
And this might be commonly known, but do you guys know who played the stand-in?
I don't know, but now that you mention it, she did have way more screen time than actual Natalie Portman.
Now, I'll tell you, every scene that she is in feels weird, almost liminal. It feels awkward.
Yeah. It's 100% because she cannot pick an accent to save her fucking life.
Oh, that checks out.
And it fucking switches from syllable to syllable, and I was having a hard time.
Oh, that tracks for sure, because that's Keira Knightley.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh. Good for her. I don't know.
I enjoyed good for her. She would go on to star in things like Not Space Wars, where she is a pirate lady.
Yep,
oh, yeah.
I've heard of that one.
It's almost like this movie needs a little more or a little less Orlando Bloom.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Let Orlando Bloom be like Greedo or something.
I like in Space Legolas. I don't care.
Space Legolas, yeah.
I'm so fed up with this shit. It's just like, man, it's Star Wars is. This one was just fucking ass.
So
Dude, I was saying that to my wife. I went, hey, some of this stuff's really good. And she's just looking at me hard.
So to agree to that to the nth degree, one of my favorite things in this movie is the cinematography. Just like we discussed earlier, as soon as I'm wowed by it, there are a handful of shots that are just gorgeous. They're well done. One of them would happen to be just before the pod race starts. There's this wide open shot of all these practical pod racers. It looks cool as shit. It cuts to a shot of like all these people from their respective teams with flags. They're walking across the racetrack. They're doing this like celebratory thing before the race. It doesn't matter. There's no consequence, but it looks cool. It's a mood setter. It's great. It's simple. It's effective. Great choice. But then a space cow takes a shit.
Stop it.
I'm dead serious. The next frame goes from like da 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 to
yes.
Ooh, that's some big doo-doo.
Okay. Can we please, just for 1 second, I know it's another complaint after you're giving it a little French kiss on its beauty, which is great. But man, when it shows that fucking thing, it looks like someone took, magic markers and drew it on the screen. It is that atrocious.
It's like some weird, unhealthy animal, and like it cuts straight to its space anus. I wasn't ready for it.
That's its black hole.
Oh.
Yeah, there is. I don't know if it's this or something a little bit later that I have written down in my notes. Is definitely just the dragon from Shrek, just because of how obviously animated it is.
Oh man! And then me so sorry I'm in this movie is there.
Now, okay, if we're giving compliments, and I think Eric, what you did was give a compliment a minute ago.
I tried.
I did have one full-on open mouth laugh in this movie, and it was due to Mr. Jar Jar Binks.
Okay. Before you tell us, was it like a laughing with or a laughing at? Because that's very important.
It was laughing at. So we get to a point where the good guys are all right, the bad guys are going to take over the city. We've got to find some allies. They go to Jar Jar's home planet, and they find them out in the woods, and they're like, please help us. We need your help. We are asking, we are pleading for you. And everybody kneels down in front of them to ask for their assistance in this war. And Jar Jar is one of them, but also with the good guys. So he's like trying to decide whether or not he should kneel or not, and he's like looking back. It's just an awkward situation, and that in itself was funny to me.
And then, of course, in Star Wars fashion, he shits.
Oh, does he lay down a little droplet there? Just a little turdlet?
Makes to feel pressured and get gassy.
Oh, do they come out square? Do they come out square like a wombat?
Oh, no. And also, I learned today that he's lactose intolerant.
Is that like canon?
All this is canon, man. Why not?
I mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
This movie sucked, y'all. It fucking sucked.
I was just so surprised at how awful it was.
There's lightsabers in this, and it sucks.
That's a rough one, too, because, like, when they introduced Darth Maul over the hologram, it looked fucking cheap as shit. And, like, I know we can shit on CGI for being, like, a little older, but, like, the composition just felt weird. And it makes a lot of this movie feel like all those fan movies that everybody used to watch on YouTube circa 2010.
Yes, definitely fan fiction.
There's a whole lot of times where practical effects are trying to mix with the CGI. We've talked about it a few times, but it's like all over. It's in almost every scene. And it just gives, like I used the word before, a liminal feel. It's like you're trying to break an astral plane here, and it's not quite there.
Yeah, it's a lot of the shot composition alludes to that too, because there are these like huge marble-esque hallways, but like for some reason, what we're supposed to be focused on, people talking, is barely a quarter of the screen. Everything else are these vast, open, empty spaces. Like this movie's really trying to like show off its, I guess, processing power. You got like fucking 70 gigabits fucking rendering this shit in the background.
Think about this. We're watching Star Wars, supposed to be the most advanced piece of technology we've seen at the time. Everything you see on the screen is offensive. There's a mixing of practical and CGI, which just completely destroys any type of fucking mood they're trying to set. Meanwhile, Arnold Schwarzenegger is teaming up with a cartoon cat in Last Action Hero, and it works.
Yeah, give me Last Action Hero over this any day.
Absolutely. You know what this movie needed? Just a random cameo by the T-1000. That's what would fix this whole thing.
Or like C-3PO becomes the T-1000.
Oh, shit. Absolutely.
This was in the era of Saturday Night Live being very big and having very, off-kilter sketches like Toonces, the driving cat. Could you imagine? During the pod races, if it just panned over and in one of the cars, there's Toonces, and he's the first one to crash.
You know what? Whatever. Like, it cuts to him in the passenger seat, but when it cuts back to the driver's seat, it's Nick Cage from Mandy. Credits.
Ooh.
Just wrap that in a fucking bow. Whatever. We've given up.
So this film does kind of get to a head. I was going to say quickly, but no, not nearly quickly enough. It comes down to 4 intersecting sort of conflicts going on, and they're all sort of geared together. You've got the war that's going on with the Jar Jar Binks people versus the droids, and that doesn't matter at all. It doesn't need to take up screen time.
Not at all.
You've got Queen Amidala and, I'm sorry, the black guy.
I don't know.
They're trying to infiltrate the palace or something to get to the Viceroy. That honestly doesn't really matter either.
No, and it also took far too fucking long.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in all honesty, like, I kind of ran out of gas after the pod race. Like, I thought that was about to wrap up, And then I looked at the timeline. I was like, oh, I'm only like an hour 10 in. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Mr. Pod Racer, you do have him getting into a ship. This is his first time actually flying a spaceship, and it's accidentally due to autopilot. He takes off and does a little star shooty. It doesn't matter either. This doesn't matter. We're all just waiting for him to get back to the scene where Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn are fighting Darth Maul, and they keep cutting away from it. This is what we want to see.
Like, when the movie finally goes like, and fight! It's just like, oh yeah, there's the adventures of Queen Amadeus. Wow. I'm like, no, go back to the fucking cool shit.
Worst part about the fucking fight is not only are they pulling you away from the fight, but they don't let the fight fight when it's time for the fight to fight. They put up fucking barriers to keep them apart.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that it's whack.
Man, see, that's why we should have spent more time in the fight. Because, like, when it got to the door thing, I thought it was pretty fucking solid. Like, you know, it kind of boils down to, like, the prey and predator kind of thing. Because, like, Darth Maul's pacing back and forth, but the other guy, he's, like, lawful good, so he's, like, praying about it or some shit. There's, like, this tension, but the movie doesn't sit still because it's bogged the fuck down by everything else it's trying to spiel. It sucks. I don't care. Please stab more men.
I really do hate that in between what should be like one of the preeminent battles in all of Star Wars ever. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth fucking Maul. They're cutting back to Jar Jar Binks on the battleground, getting run over by, oh, it's a big boomer!
Stop it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes. Think about this, too. We are doing a prequel. 110% the backstory for fucking Darth Vader. And what do you get? Misa gonna fart. What the fuck?
This movie was way more rough than I could have ever imagined. Like, there was always the funny meme assumptions, but no, it's legitimately that awful. It's baffling to see something that's touted as like a certain level of quality and entertainment come off as so just absolutely inept. Like, the basic stuff. This whole thing was kind of like first or second draft. Like, they read it and everybody's like, yeah, George Lucas knows what he's doing. Give him money. Do it now. And by the end of it, I felt exhausted. I didn't have fun at all. I really liked the sound design in the pod racing scene, but other than that, this isn't the kind of movie that would make me a fan.
This was like some kind of fucked up Saturday morning cartoon about space politics. We're shown some of, like Chandler said, the most iconic and important characters in the Star Wars saga. And they get nothing. It's just so annoying. I was not a fucking fan.
A dear coworker of mine recently told me that this was their favorite Star Wars film. I can imagine seeing that point of view if this was the only Star Wars film that I had seen. Fortunately for me, it is not. This is bad. This is... Okay, like you said, Eric, you do kind of expect a certain benchmark of quality from a franchise like Star Wars, and you're not coming anywhere near that with this. The lead little boy who's supposed to become, you know, this menacing, the big bad in the Star Wars trilogy, quadrilogy, what's a 9 trilogy? It doesn't matter. He's bad. Jar Jar Binks is so bad. So bad. Star Wars just deserves better than this. I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, but it's real bad, guys. It's real bad.
Well, there you have it. That was Star Wars, specifically Episode 1, more specifically, The Phantom Menace. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in that comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, or whatever the equivalent would be on your preferred platform. Be sure to bash the bell icon down there, too, so you don't miss what we've got brewing up next.
Follow us on social media. We got that Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. You can find us all over the web and anywhere podcasts are available. Check us out on YouTube. We're kind of funny. If you don't want to give us a chance, what we'll do is we're going to end up sending you like a big hunk of Jar Jar quotes. I'm not doing them anymore because it hurts my soul. I'm not going to degrade myself to his level.
No, you're a big boomer.
Oh, no.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that one.